Well, hello, friends, and welcome to Virtual Strangers, episode 114. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Roots. Roots, how's it going today, brother?
Wow, technical weirdness, man. And the one thing, the downfall to us both going through the same line is I don't have a slider to turn you down. So I was like, oh, he's a little loud. Let me just turn. Oh, he's not registering on my Go XLR. Yeah, so I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes technology does weird. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. If you don't know yet, anybody that watches the show here is technology that doesn't operate as it should, right? Because it should just do what it's supposed to do, and when it doesn't, I become a crotchety old man, pissed off.
Therein lies the beauty and frustration of PC gaming, right?
True.
Because it's kind of a metaphor, right? Our technical issues that seem to pop up at least bi-weekly, if not more often than that. It's indicative of the same type of things that you encounter when you decide, you know what, I'm going to play on PC today.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Mepper wants to know if the Target thing faked me out last week. It absolutely did because all the experts said it comes on. Was it either Wednesday or Thursday morning, always, and they didn't take into consideration after the fact. They said, "Oh, that's right, it's a holiday week," so of course it dropped Friday morning. So I literally woke up at 5:30 both
Oh,
mornings and waited till about 5:45, 6 o'clock. And I was like, "Oh, it's not happening today." Didn't on Friday, and then Friday it dropped, and I didn't get my PlayStation 5. And yeah, it kind of sucks, but patience is a virtue, and I didn't have it last week or 2 weeks ago, and I don't have it today, and I'm still here. I'm okay.
well, I can say this: if patience begins to wear thin, and you really want to get crazy with it,
Mm.
go to that insane level of being focused on getting this stuff, let me know, and we will teach you the advanced techniques of of procuring such items. I had to zone in on it 24/7 for about a solid month to get the stuff I was looking for, but it eventually happened, and there's things that can be done. So
Well,
just
the
let me
good
know.
the good news is it only drops typically during the week, and like you know what I mean. It's gonna be during the day. I've got settings on my Discord, even on my phone when I'm working. So if I hear a Discord thing, I look real quick, and if it's a thing I could get in real quick. It wouldn't be as good as being at home, but I can't help that. I got to work. So,
Well, one thing that a lot of people like to use is there's a website that tracks stock on like all the other online retailers,
mm,
and they'll send you an email. But typically, this stuff's going so quickly that by the time you get the email, it's too late anyway.
nah, yeah, you got to
But
get the. I mean, there's notifications as soon as like I've got a thing on the Discord. D-Rail gave me a Discord, and I switch over, and it just has like 8 or 9 different websites, and it's like a bot, and it's just refreshing
yeah,
constantly. So
yeah,
if I was
yeah.
sitting here looking at that page, as soon as something popped up, it would change. I'd be able to click it, be in there, and I could get it. But that's harder to do from a phone. So I'm just gonna have to. It's
Yeah,
just gonna have to be
it
timing.
yeah, yeah, it's tough to do from the phone. And Derail and I, we kind of got our stuff at the same time, using the same methods. And I forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about there.
Mm.
And there is a place in that where you can enter in your email, and it will email you as well. If
Oh.
but the thing is you'll get a bunch of emails because there's a lot of false alarms with that thing.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you can set up the interval, how often you want it to check, and tell it to email you when something changes. And
I just
yeah,
wanted to. That's almost why I bought something from eBay. I want it to be over already. Just started, Wes. I want it to be over. I just want it here. And
you know, you,
yeah.
you say that, but after being on the hunt for as long as we were, kind of missed the hunt after it was gone. It was like something that you think that you want it to be over with, but then when it's over, you're just kind of like, well, what do I do now? I guess I'll play a game.
Wow, I'll tell you what you could do. Like some of these people that have multiple PlayStation 5s for sale on eBay, you could keep hunting and selling. Man, I can't believe how many PlayStation 5s are on eBay, and not all of them are scams because I know how to look for the right sellers as far as, if somebody's got a 99 or 100% positivity rate and they've got thousands of reviews, they care more about not fucking you over than you want. You know what I mean? They don't want to ruin their
Right.
thing. It's the one, like I saw one that was it was a disc version, Wes, for 460. And I was like, oh wow, what a deal, bro. Like that's cheaper than that's cheaper than what you buy at retail. I don't know why you'd sell it that. But yeah, so that was clearly a scam. It's a bummer. People probably get scammed all the time.
Yeah, I saw quite a bit of RTX 3080 paper edition on eBay, which
Mm.
was literally a picture of the graphics card, and it said so in the description. It was just people's way of kind of dicking over the scalpers by just completely spamming eBay with all of these false postings. And their thing is there's no refunds if you're stupid enough to click on this and pay for it.
Mm.
Well, you shouldn't have been soliciting these scalpers.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I'm just my thing is sometimes people. I mean, if it's a fair enough price, you can get a good deal if you really pay attention. But man, I mean, the cheapest I was gonna get it was for 750, and that was with shipping, and that's not cheap, dude. At least it was the disc version. But
all right, so I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace right now.
oh god, dude,
We're going to go to local only.
I guarantee some people aren't gonna be selling that cheap.
I've got one here for 630 in Lexington. It's not brand new. It is open,
Hmm.
but two controllers,
Oh,
630.
that's a good deal.
There's one in Frankfurt, which is a little bit of a drive. It's like an hour, 600.
Oh wow. Well, Wes is
Um,
volunteering to go go pick one up for me.
yeah, I mean, if you got the cash for it, I don't care to
I
be
do
the
have the
middleman
cash
here. You
for
want
it.
to pay for the shipping and all that, and I'll be I'll put a day into it for you. There's a couple of them on here for 750. Um, but they're here, they're around, man. There's one for 550 that's opened, obviously. Brand new. I just don't play it. My husband is in the Navy now. Oh,
Hmm.
it says shipping only. So if it's not shipped out, I cannot meet at all. Well, never mind. Screw you, lady. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna trust you to ship it to me.
that's a scam, right?
Anyway, the moral of the story is that they're around, they're
Hmm.
here, and not for an arm and a leg either. These appear to be legitimate and fairly reasonably priced. Now, obviously, people are making $100, 150 on it, but I don't blame them for that. I did the same thing with my graphics cards.
People are
So
gonna make money. I don't mind if somebody, if it goes to the right hands, I don't mind it. That 630 Rule Veraza says the 631 is not a bad deal, and I
no,
agree.
no, it's not. You're just assuming, with it being open, that they didn't abuse it or anything. But obviously, we'd need them to send pictures that it's booting up and all that jazz. But no, 630 with an extra controller, that's pretty much cost.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yep. Anyway, more on that later. Lots to talk about today, man. I was wondering, going into my research session, whether we were going to have anything to talk about this weekend. Dude, it's overwhelming all the stuff we have to talk about this
Yeah,
week.
yeah. I was looking at the thing, and I was thinking, are we gonna be able to hit our target time? Actually, I was loading up to Anchor, and we've actually been good. I mean, yeah, our last segment went a little bit longer, but I mean, our main segments have been about an hour and 45 on average, and down from 3. That's pretty darn good, right?
Yeah, that's the way I'm looking at it. I still think that we should try to hit them make them a little bit shorter. Target time being 90 minutes on Sunday and Wednesday, and then sub 1 hour on Friday, Saturday. But we've done well, man, considering we had a solid 6 weeks where every show was over 3 hours. I think we're doing well. And it's not that we're cutting back on any content either. We're actually covering more now
Mm.
than we did in the 3 hour shows.
Yeah, yeah. Scion VR says missed. Oh, he didn't say that. He said hello, but I know in his hello he meant Mist VR is coming soon.
Yeah, if Scion were a superhero, he'd be Mister Mister.
Mister. I want to play some PC Mist
Well,
VR.
Abduction is going to be free on the Epic Game Store next week, so
Oh,
how
that's
about
right.
that?
That's true. Play that.
Anyway, loads to get into, a nice group of headlines for us to dive into. But
Mm.
before we do that, let's kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in chat. And I see a bunch of the OG ride or dies in the chat today, man. We got Mash Daddy in there. We got Spry Guy and Mepper. Of course, Scion's here, as is Wolveraza, Traveling Man 3775. Uh, Wormsworth is in the chat. And let's see. I know I saw the obligatory weekly. Where are we on live chat? I might be on top chat. That might be what's going on here. Oh, here we are. Decepticon. Oh yeah. So Decepticon says oh and Wormsworth says woohoo. So we got all the proper sound effects going on in the chat, and a nice little group ready to talk some VR. And so am I. How about you?
I am absolutely ready to talk some VR, and I agree with Wolveraza. He says he likes having more shows in case he misses one. It's always nice to hit them live, and yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why, even though other people that used to be around were like adamantly we're never going live, Wes and I were adamantly wanting to push for live because I enjoy the live. When I'm watching a stream, I like it to be live. So why would it be any different for our show, right? So
Well, it's a lot of work putting on 3 podcast style live shows per week. But with that said, I like the format now. I like the format that, or what the format has evolved into over time. Because although we do have 3 separate podcast style VR discussion shows each week, each show is very different than the other one. So Sunday, we've got our news focused show. We recap the last week in VR gaming news. Wednesday, we have our review show, for lack of a better term. It's impressions and reviews of what we've been playing. And then Friday, Saturday, free stuff and killer deals, right? The bargain show. 3 very different subject, all very important parts of VR gaming. And I like it, man. And it's been a natural evolution into what it's become, and it's going to continue, I'm sure, to evolve into something even better as time goes on.
yeah, I agree for sure.
Midlife Kid joining us in chat, as is Island Kara and Chris Richardson. Hello, hello, one and all. I think it's time. Chris Richardson's here, man. It's time to get on with the headlines, and we have quite a few headlines. And to kick it off, we went off the air last night with the free stuff and killer deals, and I forgot to mention the free stuff of the week. It was at the very bottom of the page. I
Hmm.
didn't catch it till after we went off the air. But the Museum of Other Realities has made a permanent change to free. So
Oh
it's
wow.
always free now for everyone on every platform. And that leads perfectly into our top headline this week. Virtual Film Festival XR3 returns. So this was a festival that was going on last month. A lot of great content included in this festival. And that was when they originally did their promo, uh, their 2 week free period for people to pick it up. And, we talked about it then, that it was nice to see that the Museum of Other Realities was finally beginning to realize that there are other ways that they can monetize this thing. They don't have to charge people for it. And then, sure enough, within a month, they go absolutely free, and they're bringing back an encore of XR3.
Hmm.
So, those of you who have missed it, those of you who have never tried Museum of Other Realities, it's probably about time to get in there, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Spry says free stuff is the best. I agree. I'm a little torn on this, Wes, though. Like, because it's free now. Well, what about the people that paid for it? Now, granted, I didn't pay for it. I got it free too. But if you bought this a year ago or 6 months ago, I mean, I guess it's better than having it all of a sudden disappear, like some games just servers disappear or whatever. That's always an option, but I just kind of feel like it's something that if you bought it before, you're kind of in some ways getting shafted. So
No, well, I mean, it's not unprecedented, right? All games kind of go through this cycle where they start out. Let's even like in pancake games, the games will launch for $70, and then you'll end up, they'll decrease in value over time to where they get to next to nothing. And I wouldn't say that this is much different than a game like Apex Construct, which was
mm,
$30 at launch. Now you can pick it up for $5 regularly. What you're paying for, or what the early adopters were paying for, was time. They've got to enjoy the museum of other realities
mm,
for years now at this point, where other people have had to wait until now to try it out. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, and Mepper says Steam version of Museum was better than Epic version for some reason. I did not play both of them. That's kind of interesting. Better in what way? Like how better?
yeah, yeah, I didn't even know it was on Epic. Like maybe he's talking about Viveport,
Oh
which
God.
is the version which I regularly use is the Viveport version. But it won't be now, I guess. If the Steam version's that much better and it's free, I might as well get into that one, right?
Yeah, I can't wait for my headphones coming tomorrow, Wes, because I'm not even moving and you're getting really loud in my ear, which is tolerable. But like, it just shocks me because all of a sudden Wes is screaming at me. And what? Why are you so mad at me, Wes?
I'm
These
sorry,
headphones
man.
are going out. I'm it's perfect timing.
I'll try to control my anger. Alex VR and Technoglitch joining the chat. Hello, dudes.
Mm,
What's up?
sliding in. What's up, bros?
This next headline, I think you're going to dig roots. Red Dead Redemption 2 DLSS support could help the VR mod. So we just got news this past week that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be supporting NVIDIA DLSS for all of those out there who have an RTX branded graphics card. And Upload is speculating here that this could actually help what a game that or a mod that already runs fairly well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I guarantee it will help it. It may not off the bat. It may conflict. There may be issues, but Ross will tweak it and make it be able to use it. So I think it's amazing. It's already looking like I was talking to Radio Runt a couple nights ago about just how good this game because he finally went back into it, made the tweaks I suggested, and how good it looks already. And so being able to tweak it even better because there are things that I deliberately turned down that now I could crank up. I'm gonna do it. So
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for what to do now because I do have the game installed. I have not yet installed the mod,
mm,
and I don't know if I'm going to do that anytime soon because our next headline says that Vorpx VR driver adds full VR support for GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. So apparently, Vorpx is supporting full VR for both of those titles now. And I haven't watched it
mm.
yet, but I know that Gamertag VR did a video on Red Dead Redemption 2 Vorpx this morning. And judging from the thumbnail and headline, he was pretty impressed with it.
Hmm. I wonder if it would be. I mean, I've never used Vorpx full VR and had it be as good as those other mods are. So I wonder. I'll have to try it.
Perhaps an opportunity lies here to do a direct comparison. Since I don't have the mod installed yet, I could hit it up in Vorpx first and then move on to the Lucross
That's
mod
true.
and
That
see
way,
how they compare.
yeah, that's a good idea. And that way, you wouldn't be having any taint. No taint, Wes.
Yeah, that sounds like a physical deformity and not having any taint.
That does not sound good. You know who else loves the taint though?
I
My
do.
mom!
Oh yeah, she does.
Technoglitch says, does it have motion controller support? I doubt it. I know the mod doesn't. I doubt that the Vorpx version would.
Chris Richardson wants to know: are those tweaks listed somewhere? I think I posted them in the Discord. I'll do it again, but essentially, I think one of the biggest one was I went into the actual file for the note. I guess the notepad file for the settings I went to medium, and I changed the 1080 for the graphics to 1400 by 1400, and then saved it. And then I think it's the TS. I turned the lighting all the way up, not the volumetric lighting, but just the lighting all the way up. And then I turned up the TAA. I'm trying to think of exactly what it was.
Anti-aliasing.
Yeah, there was an anti-aliasing thing that I turned all the way up as well, and I'll have to look and see what it was, but it really made it look amazing, and it ran good. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, just another of a long list of mods that are in my never-ending backlog that I'll probably never get around to because I'm having so much fun sniping dudes right now. So, uh,
Chris Richardson wants to know, what does full VR support mean? Move control support? I don't think it's move
no,
controller. I think it's still
no.
going to be the same controls.
When you're in regards to Vorpx, there are different modes in which Vorpx works. One is called the immersive cinema, immersive theater mode, which is you sitting in a virtual room playing the game on a virtual screen, but the game is in full 3D. The screen takes up pretty much your entire field of view. So even though it's not you're not inside the game, it kind of feels like you are. And with regards to Vorpx, when it talks about full VR support, what it's talking about is it's not this immersive screen mode, but rather you are in the game. So
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm so impressed with the Luke Ross mod and how it runs and everything, and I question whether it's going to be the full VR and it's going to be better than it. But who knows? I mean, this guy is dedicating his life to doing this, man. So of course, so is Rafe or Ralph, whatever his name is.
yeah, I would say I'm a bit skeptical as well. Vorpx is great for those immersive screen applications, but the way that they generally deal with putting you inside a game is by mapping your head movement to what would otherwise be the mouse control in the game. And that never has felt natural to me. There's
Mm,
always been a little weirdness with that when I move my head,
mm,
and it creates discomfort. And as uh, VR comfort can be a very finicky thing. And if something's even just a little bit off, it doesn't work. So I've generally stuck with the immersive screen in Vorpx. But with that said, since my last stint in Vorpx, there have been multiple updates to
mm.
it, and Paradise Decay has just raved about it. So, um,
Well,
and again, GT's generally a pretty good gauge on how good something is, and if he was impressed by it, it must be pretty decent.
well, I'm sure it's decent. It's just whether it's as good. Now, damn it, Wes, you got now. I want you to. I wish you would have already done the comparison, because I would watch that episode. Okay.
Well, again, this is near the top of my backlog, so I'll try to make it a point to get in there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, next headline: Link's redesign could become the first real Quest competitor. Now, Roots, this is a headset we've known about for a while, and it seems like once a month we get this next big thing article about the next headset that's going to crush the Quest and prove to be a competitor. Now, I will say this for the Lynx. I think that this could be a very cool uh, device for AR applications. This is the first real affordable consumer AR headset
Mm,
that also supposedly does VR as well. It has full color, high definition pass through for AR applications. That's great. What people are failing to recognize here with this thing, though, even though it does run on an XR2 chip and all of that, there are some very big limitations uh, to this as a VR headset. First of all, it doesn't come with controllers. The main method of input is going to be hand tracking,
mm,
which supposedly you're going to be able to buy controllers for this thing. So there's obviously a way around that, but there isn't any way around the fact that there's only two cameras on it and they're both facing directly forward, which means even if there is controller tracking or hand tracking, it's going to have a very limited range of that it's able to sense. So
Mm.
I don't see this being or having very much legs from an A or a VR perspective. Uh, but with that said, uh, you know, there's a lot of potential for AR and some really cool things can be done with it. Hopefully, this is the one that really takes AR to the next level.
Yeah. Are we talking 2022 or 2025? I don't think we're there yet, dude. Like everything you just said about it, like if the hand tracking is that narrow, you got two cameras. Like I don't understand how this thing is going to work. And I can't stand when somebody puts a product out and says, well, we're going to do this down the road. We're gonna have controllers down the road. Well, controllers are kind of important, bro. Like they should like I don't know. We found out about the index controllers first. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. That's everything about this makes me it's warning. It's just really weird. And $200? I mean, who is subsidizing this?
Oh,
Technology.
it's not going to cost $200. They say a few $100,
Oh.
which I think it's probably going to cost more than $500. And the reason why I think this is because the initial announced version of this headset was announced to be coming for $1,400. Now the difference between this version and the original specs was that the original one had eye tracking, and they've found ways through lens modification that they don't need the eye tracking anymore. They've ditched the eye tracking module, and that's why the price has come down on it. But that doesn't change the fact that as a VR thing, this is going to have a very limited tracking range, no controllers that are boxed in with it, uh, and, uh, and beyond that, I mean, it's going to have limited resolution, a smaller field of view. I mean, it's not going to work as a Quest competitor. But again, with that said, there are other things that this can do that Quest can't. So it may be able to carve its own niche out in the
Yeah,
marketplace.
maybe it'll be a stepping stone for something else. But yeah, and let somebody else experience that. To me, it's just. Uh, I'll experience somebody else can. I'll watch Sebastian's video on how it is
There
because
you
I'm
go.
sure
There you go.
he'll have it for sure.
Well, we'll take a wait and see approach to it as we do with most hardware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris Richardson in chat. We need a Vorpx classroom session led by PD and Wes. I jump into VR chat for that, or whatever presentation tool peeps are into using. Hey man, I'm not pretending to be any kind of Vorpx expert.
Oh,
I've had about 3 good stints in Vorpx, and I have PD to thank for me even having it. I actually won a giveaway on
mm,
PD's channel last year sometime, and that's how the only reason I even have Vorpx is because of him.
oh God, it's
But
getting
that
hot.
guy, he does a lot of good Vorpx content, and I'm trying to think. There's another really good channel, maybe Beardo Benjo or another one of those guys over across the seas over there. Uh, do a lot of good Vorpx content.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't know Wes was an expert in it, but maybe what he's thinking is PD's got so much knowledge, but he really enjoys your presentation, so like a collaboration, and you're just the mouthpiece, going over it.
I have good communication skills, in other
Yes,
words.
yes, you do.
Excellent. Well, I'd certainly be glad to relay anything that I learn about it. I, basically, what I know about it at this point is you should check out Journey. Journey's awesome in Vorpx.
It is awesome. Actually, I went in and I tried that Galactic. What's the name? The Galactic one where that I picked up last week, and it's really good. It looks really good. I didn't.
Oh yeah. That Deep Rock or
Yeah, Deep
something like
Rock
that.
Galactic or something like that. I don't even know. Mash, you picked it up too, but I went in there and it was actually looked really good. I even did an immersive, and it looked really. I was like psyched to go in there now. Check it out.
Yeah, Vorpx is a tinkerer's dream, man. If you're the type who likes to spend time like honing in settings and stuff to perfect the performance, then you're going to love Vorpx. And it does some really cool things. It's certainly worth the $40 price tag that they put on it. You can really do some great, amazing things with it, especially if you're someone who's constantly looking for something to play and never can find the right VR game. Vorpx can really open up your library for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Deep Rock Galactic, says Mash Daddy.
That's
So
what
there
it
you
is.
go.
Deep Rock to Galactic. I knew it was something like that.
Scion VR says maybe Jarillo and PD. Yeah, Jarillo has a lot of knowledge with Vorpx as well.
Yep.
Next headline: Blair Witch VR releases on Oculus Rift, coming to PSVR and Steam VR this summer. So I knew this was coming to other platforms, and it's one of the better horror games on Oculus Quest. I've been excited, waiting for this one to get ported over. It had a surprise drop on Oculus Rift this past week, but it was a surprise in more ways than one, Roots, because this game, at least as of today, does not support cross buy, and for the life of me, I cannot understand why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people say it's a money grab. I mean, people, who knows, man? Maybe that's the decision of, well, we're gonna shut down, or we're not gonna do crossbuy. I don't know. But
Well, here's the thing with cross buy. I may not agree with it, but I can understand why a multiplayer game wouldn't support cross buy. Again, I don't agree with that. I think all games should support cross buy, but with a multiplayer game, that's something that's feasible. You could see people shelling out money to buy multiple copies to play multiplayer. But when you're talking about a game like this, Blair Witch, which is a port of an older uh, flat horror game in VR, story driven single player experience, you're talking about something that people aren't going to buy multiple copies of. If people have this on Quest, they're not buying it on PC, and the same is true vice versa.
mm,
So it's really counterintuitive to me not to have this be cross buy, because that cross buy check mark is the selling point for a lot of people with regards to games on the Oculus Store. If you're going to carry it on the Oculus Store, generally a lot of people won't even look at it unless it supports cross buy.
yeah, or it just becomes, like you said, a selling point, no brainer, right? Like, oh man, this is cross buy. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm thinking about picking it up on Steam. Oh shit, it's cross buy. I'm picking it up on. Of course, I don't think it's available on Steam. So is this much better on the Rift version? I know you don't know because you weren't able to check it
Right.
out because you don't own. It wasn't cross buy.
I've read some articles on it, and it is a proper PC version. It isn't just a straight
Oh,
Quest port,
oh.
which begs the question: which version are the PlayStation community going to get?
Mm,
Because I know with Layers of Fear, they pretty much got a straight Quest port on PlayStation. Even though there's a much better looking PC version that they could have worked from, that's not the route they went. They took the Quest version and put it on PlayStation.
mm.
Hopefully that doesn't happen here, because I know a lot of the Layers of Fear PlayStation reviews were mixed. Hopefully they put a little more work into the Blair Witch edition.
Oh, I'm debating if I want to play it now. I feel like I want to buy a conductor's hat because the conductor, Dave Station, just came in and said, doot, doot, $2 donation. We appreciate you, Dave. I stood up for you in the last show and told everybody that you're the only conductor of the train, bro.
Thanks for the support, Dave, and a good episode for you to be showing up to, because tons of great PlayStation news this week. So yeah, again, thanks as always for the support. But yeah, with regards to Blair Witch, um, I do think this game deserves another look on PC and or PlayStation. It's a lot more of a modern game than Layers of Fear was, and as much as I like the psychedelic element of Layers of Fear as a game, Blair Witch is it's a better VR
Mm,
game. It plays more like Exorcist or Paranormal Activity. It's pretty stereotypical uh, you know, VR horror game, but I like those. Those are my favorite games. So I enjoyed this one on Quest, and hopefully, the PlayStation version turns out to be a lot more similar to the PC version uh, visually.
Yeah, I want to know how long this summer means. I thought we are here. I thought we're in the summer, dude. It's
Yeah,
almost over,
later this
bro.
summer.
Yeah, later. Well, we only got 6 weeks left or something, right? Give or take.
Well, it's funny. PlayStation has like, I don't know, 10 or 15 releases that are coming this summer. Wouldn't it be funny if they all dropped the same week?
Yeah, yeah, that would be actually be very tragic for some devs. They really
Oh, I
should
tell
just.
you who it would be tragic for. PSVR Without Parole joining us in chat. She said, "Did someone say PlayStation?" Absolutely, man. It's like Beetlejuice, Brian Paul showing up in the chat.
Yeah, well, say Beetlejuice 3 times, right? Here he comes.
As we, he has like a spider sense. Anytime someone says PSVR on YouTube, it's like,
I wish I could go in the
um,
future and play the PlayStation VR 2, or like you say, the PlayStation 5 VR.
it's coming, man. It's coming. Let's temper our expectations so the next 18 months don't seem like forever.
Mhm.
But anyway, hopefully hopefully Bloober Team comes to their senses and adds crossbuy to this thing. It's the only way I'm going to try it out. I mean, unless they send me a key, of course. If they send me a key, I'll check it out regardless. But from what I'm seeing, it looks much better on the PC than it looked on Quest. I know what's going to sell you on the game, Roots. They've updated the game now so that you can pet the dog.
Oh, I want to pet. Can I fist bump him?
I don't know. It might
Oh man.
cower if you try.
And I don't know. I think Asgard's Wrath screwed me, man. Just being able to fist bump that shark right off the bat, that was like, felt so good. Now I want it in every game. So
Yeah, PSVR Without Pro in the chat says 25 more PSVR games coming over the next 10 weeks. So that's on average like 2.25 games
oh
per week.
Jesus.
And I don't know if you've ever tried to play a quarter game, Roots, but it's not very easy.
No. Well, it's good. We'll actually have some of these months we'll have discussion. This last month we didn't have a discussion for game of the month, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, unless you count Space Explorer VR, then
Mm.
you're right. So, well, I
Ooh.
mean, I think it was like the month before that. PlayStation had the best month, and then PC didn't have anything. But then this past month, it was all on Quest, and PlayStation didn't have anything. It's cyclical. Is
Mm.
the moral of the story?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it comes around, right? So
It certainly does. Um, anyway, next headline: Edward Norton and Joss Stone hit Oculus Quest in Paper Birds Part Two,
mm.
and I feel a little bit bad, Roots, because generally we tend to cover almost every one of these big um, interactive storytelling experiences that hit any of these stores. And I think Paper Birds has largely flown over my head, for lack of a better term.
Hmm.
Uh, I've been aware that it was on the store because I've just seen it scrolling through, but I didn't know it had names like Ed Norton in it. I mean, that guy's phenomenal.
I thought I saw the first one. I think I own the first one, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm just living some Mandela effect memory, but I could have sworn that I've played that first one because I noticed there was a second one. I was like, oh, there's a sequel. I'll have to check into that though.
Yeah, we need to get in there and look at it because obviously there's a lot more awesome applications for VR as a technology than just playing games. For example, this Wednesday, after we finish up our deep dive on Sniper Elite VR, we're also going to be talking about Madrid Noir, which hit the Oculus Quest this past week as well. So lots of good stuff coming on this Wednesday show. You're not going to want to miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe I played it on Viveport or something. I know I've played it though. It sounds very familiar.
Wolveraza in chat says, "I will be finishing Asgard's. It's a moral imperative. I had to play. I had to kill it to play Half Life Alex for a minute though. Need an external hard drive soon. Yeah, I'm already at the point of juggling games on my PC.
Mm.
And the funny thing is I'm typically juggling games that I don't play. I install them and then just go play Quest. You
I
know what I mean?
yeah, I have several games I intend to play, and then I don't. But I went through and I got rid of. I have a conundrum, Wes. I found a hard drive with like 300 gigs I could get rid of, but it was like all these high high def ripped Blu-ray ripped movies of like the whole Lord of the Rings series and like but I don't watch movies anymore, but I'm like maybe I want to watch a movie somewhere like that I would actually go watch again. So
Yeah, right. So you never know when the day is going to come when you're going to want to pop in the big screen and go on a 12-hour Lord of the Rings binge,
I could
right?
host one, bro. I could have some friends over. We could watch. We could hang out with some hobbits. Who doesn't want to hang out with hobbits? 2021, the year of the hobbit. So
There you go. Space Dennison and Paul Bellino joining us in chat. Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining. Next headline: Ultra Wings Studio teases sequel, and get this, Roots promises a larger open world and a healthy dose of combat. So it seems like Ultra Wings
hmm.
sequel is going to be a proper expansion of the already popular VR flying sim.
How cool. The first one's so cool. I mean, yeah, it's a little graphically, people might snub their nose at it, but it actually is a really good game. And up until what World War II airplanes or that run that we recently played, there really wasn't a good flying game you could get for Quest.
Yeah, and it's not very difficult to pick up either. Like as you know, my dad bought an Oculus Quest 2 I don't know, about 6 months ago. And immediately I got him in Death Unchained
Hmm.
because he likes archery in real life. I thought he might be able to pick that one up kind of easily, but it never really stuck with him. The last time he was here, he bought Rush because, again, not very difficult to pick that one up. And he's been watching a lot of wingsuit VR videos on YouTube lately. And I was like, dude, there's a game, right? You can do that. And so he picked up Rush. Haven't heard a word from him about Rush, but then like 2 days ago, he texts me and says, I picked up Ultra Wings
Hmm.
on the Oculus Quest, and I'm absolutely loving it. So even for someone like him who's never been a gamer, um, this just goes to show there's something for everyone in the VR catalog these days.
Well, and it also kind of we all have good intentions and we think we can lead people to the right game. That's why it's funny when people say, "What game should I get?" Well, what do you like? Sometimes you just have to let your dad, even though it's hard to let go and let them go on, move on, walk on their own. But let them pick something that they think, that just like us, they're gonna try stuff, they're gonna enjoy it. Um, so my dad tried VR before I did with the Go, and and then I shot past him, and then I bought him his Quest 2. So
Yeah, Chris Richardson in the chat says I enjoyed playing Ultra Wings on my Oculus Go on a flight. That's a very PD thing to do, isn't it? Play Ultra Wings on an actual plane.
videotape
Uh, there
it.
was no way to turn off the internal gyro, so the plane's turns were picked up by the headset. Oh, that's cool and frustrating, I bet, at the same time. Now, with regards to my dad, he actually played Ultra Wings before
Mm.
on PlayStation VR. I demoed it to him years ago when he visited me, and he liked Ultra Wings on PSVR and Rush of Blood. Obviously, everyone loves Rush of Blood, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, did you try to show him Swarm?
Oh God, dude, he'd break his neck trying to play Swarm.
There's some people that shouldn't try. Alien Kara, you need to check out Swarm. I just wanted a reason to bring it up.
There you go. Our weekly mention of Swarm.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ultra Wings sequel, something definitely to look forward to. Hopefully, coming later this year.
Yeah. Cool. Looks cool.
Synth Riders and O Shape team up for Caravan Palace DLC. So I wasn't aware of this, Roots. I
Mm.
knew that Synth Riders had a new DLC. I knew that new DLC featured 5 new songs. I knew that it features a new experience, which I love. It's my favorite thing in Synth Riders are these experiences.
Mm.
But what I did not know, Roots, was that they're collaborating with O Shape and O Shape releasing a similar DLC pack with similar music.
I wonder if they could get us DLC access to O Shape as well. Somebody.
We probably already have it in Viport.
That's true.
Honestly,
Actually, I think it does exist in we but what I guess we get all the DLCs, right? We got
yeah,
the
we get
VIP.
everything that, yeah, everything that hits Viport we get. So,
Oh, sweet.
um, speaking of which, I think we should probably jump in at some point. That Vertigo remastered DLC, the Sandbox DLC,
Hmm.
that's on Viport. It's not Infinity, but we do have access to it.
Oh, cool. Sweet.
Yeah, great game. So definitely interested in taking a look at that DLC.
Alien Kara says they'd rather get the jab.
Don't do it. Anyway, you'll get motion sickness. Don't do it. You're better off playing. You're better off playing Swarm. Progression overhaul. OpenXR. New content planned for Phasmophobia. Roots, I think the time has come for me to run it back with Phasmophobia. I tried this game out during the early days of its VR support, and I was less than impressed, to say the least. But with that said, it has undergone numerous significant updates since I played it, and a lot of people love this game. And again, I'm a horror guy, so I probably about time for me to get back in there.
What's the overhaul though? That's my question.
Yeah,
Because
that's a
I
good
wasn't
question.
impressed with it either, and people raved about it then. That's the thing. It'd be like, you're eating a burger, and it's like the worst burger. Well, it wasn't the worst burger, but it's a mediocre burger, and this guy next to you is like, "Dude, this is the best burger ever." Um, you know what I mean? Like, these are the same people raving about it now. So what? I just want to know what's changed. That's all. But I do get curious because I mean, apparently it's still popular. So.
Well, I know some of the recent updates have made the ghosts or spirits or poltergeist,
Hmm.
whatever, more aggressive towards you as a player, which was generally my biggest complaint about it was how passive
Hmm.
the ghosts were. Like, I'm supposed to get scared. I do know this is a game, right? It's not like real, and the ghost isn't even trying to attack me. That's supposed to scare me. It's not like Jack coming at me, with a chainsaw in his hand or anything. It's a apparition over there that's just crying beside the table.
That's just imagination, I guess. I don't know, man. I just it's kind of like a sandboxy type of game too, right? Even though it's structured.
No, no, it does have structure. You have objectives that you have to. Your task is to identify the ghost. You have a journal
Hmm.
which tells you about all the different kinds of spirits and ghosts that you can encounter. You're supposed to investigate, gather your clues, go back to your truck, and the whole game is, can you guess what kind of ghost this is
Hmm. Oh,
before it kills you? Apparently,
I don't think they're all demons. That's my thought.
right.
But yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
you
it's
win,
definitely.
Roots. You guessed correctly. You
I
win.
I won. I did it. What did I win? Your Phasmophobia. You get to go in and play. Check out the progression overhaul.
Yeah, you
It
win a
does.
free copy of Phasmophobia, a value worth over $11.
Yes, yes. I think I paid 15 for it. Definitely. Actually, I wouldn't mind going into it. I just want to go in. I want to go in one, and I want to know was somebody that knows what's going on, have structure. We spent when I went in. I think we spent an hour like trying to do mic issues. It was a nightmare, and that started the whole thing off wrong for me. So
Well, hopefully they've got all that stuff lined out, because the microphone is an integral part of the game. The game does need to recognize what you're saying for the game to work. So it isn't something that you can just go to Discord and bypass.
no,
It has to work in the game. So hopefully they're past all that now.
yeah.
Headline: Fruit Ninja VR 2 coming to Steam VR headsets later this year. This was the game that nobody knew about and nobody wanted. I'm just joking. Uh, no, man, this was something that really no one saw coming.
I
A
never
sequel
saw
to
it.
Fruit Ninja. What can they do with it? I don't know. I know that they're adding archery to it, which
Oh,
is something. So you can be a fruit archer.
I didn't see. The thing is, I never played the first one, and I just don't think this is going to intrigue me to try it because you know what I mean. I haven't been intrigued enough with the gameplay of the first one. I can't imagine what they could do different. But that being said, maybe they think outside the box so much that I'm eating my words and I'm like, this is the game of the year. Could be.
Well, I can say this: Gamertag VR recently played a demo version of it and was rather impressed with it.
Oh, that's cool. See, I never played the first one, so maybe I would have been impressed with the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, same here. I never had any desire to play Fruit Ninja inside or outside of VR, but I'll try anything once. And if GT says it's a fun game, then I generally take his word for such things.
I see. I would have to disagree with you there, not about the GT part, but about the outside of VR. If I could do Fruit Ninja outside of VR with some real fruit, that would be cool, like Gallagher style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. I tell you though, if we're talking about real life emulation of VR fruit games, I think I'd rather play Shooty Fruity in real life.
Oh, yeah. See, I never played that either. See, I never played all these early stuff, man. I need to go back. Maybe these are the gems I've been missing, Wes.
Yeah, hey, Shooty Fruity. I mean, who doesn't want to blast evil watermelons? I know
Yeah,
Gallagher does.
yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And our final headline this week: Zero Caliber Quest update overhauls AI and visuals. Or so they say. I played this game uh, the day that it updated.
Hmm.
Now, either the update hadn't hit my Quest yet, or it just wasn't very noticeable.
Hmm.
Now, with that said, I really like Zero Caliber on the Quest. It's organized much better than the PC version is, and while it didn't look great on launch, it looks a lot better now than it did then. But with regards to this specific update, it supposedly makes the AI a little more difficult to deal with, and the game look better visually. Uh, I I went in before I knew about the update, and
Hmm.
I didn't come away thinking, "Wow, man, that seems so much different."
I was excited. If they make the AI better, that'd be cool. You know what's funny? Mepper says it's been a few years since the first one came out. He's surprised that this one didn't come out 2 years ago, unless they were waiting on headset sales. But I mean, I clearly you missed the. I mean, they were waiting on fidelity, bro. Like, think about how good this. Like, you if you could play this game in the G2, Shooty Fruity 2. Oh, I guess it's not Shooty Fruity. It's Fruit Ninja 2. I mean, it's gonna blow you away. The graphics, right? Maybe not.
right, right.
Yeah,
Uh,
PSVR Underground says that sucked. Don't waste your time. Is that what you were gonna say?
right. He was talking about the original Fruit Ninja on PlayStation VR. I never really even considered playing it. I did once consider picking it up because my daughter was a fan of Fruit Ninja, the Pancake Mobile
Hmm.
Fruit Ninja.
Okay.
So, but I asked her, do you want me to pick this game up? She's like, I can take it or leave it. And I'm like, well, I'll keep my money then.
Well, yeah. If you're not feeling, shoot, man, that's how they were about Five Nights, right?
No, well, no. I mean, they were pretty. I mean, they were after it came out on Quest. I offered to buy it for them on PlayStation, and
They said no.
they don't want to deal with the cable anymore.
Oh man, but they're not gonna care when they get the official badass Spider-Man and all the Sony exclusives, dude. People bitch about that cord, dude, but that cord is what's gonna make this it next level, bro. I'm glad the cord's there, and anybody who doesn't like that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, well, people complain about their own speculation, but I'm pretty certain that after PlayStation 5 VR actually becomes a thing, and people see the titles that Sony support it
Mm,
with, I think people are going to be changing their tunes almost as quickly as Upload VR changed their tune when things started to leak about PlayStation
yeah,
5
yeah,
VR.
yeah, almost like maybe they tried it. Yeah, no, that's cool. I definitely I agree.
Anyway, that wraps up this week's headlines and gets us into the meat of the show, Roots, the big stories. And what a big story, none bigger this week than the revelation of Moth's Book 2. It's been 3 years since PolyArt Games first debuted its massively popular VR puzzle adventure Moss for PlayStation VR. During this period, the title has been ported over to every major VR platform and has become widely regarded as a must own for anyone who owns a VR headset. The title has consistently remained at the top of everyone's VR sequel wish list. And this past week, during Sony's most recent state of play, everyone's wish came true. During the event, Polyarc debuted the reveal trailer for Moss Book 2 for PlayStation VR, featuring the return of its enigmatic heroine, Quill. Along the Alongside the first teaser, which showcases new locations and interactions, the studio has revealed that Moss Book 2 will continue right where the original concluded, with Quill rescuing her uncle Argus from within the Hexed Castle. In a sequel, in the sequel rather, Quill discovers a winged tyrant who leads the castle filled with new puzzles and new enemies. Some of the new features revealed so far include wielding a big old hammer and creating new pathways with a nature attunement ability. Quill's ability to charge her weapons has been enhanced as well. So I don't know how much attention you paid to this reveal trailer, Roots, but I did notice the aforementioned winged enemy that's chasing Quill through the levels here, and but it never shows it. It
Mm.
always stays kind of off camera. That's got to be an owl, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would imagine. I mean, it's definitely the enemy of the mouse, right? But no, I hadn't really seen the video until right now. I was watching. That's why I was so enwrapped with it. Sometimes I save my reaction for the actual show. But yeah, no, I think it looks really good, and it's kind of. I think it's cool that they're taking they're just going from right where you left off, right? Like the story literally just ended, and now you can go into the next one. So let me ask you this: you said you're going to play it before it comes out again, right? Just to get refreshed, or no?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll absolutely play through Moss again as we approach the release date, which, by the way, has not been announced yet.
Mm.
We don't know when this game's coming. We don't even know if it's coming this year. But Roots, I mean, it's been 3 years since the first installment of Moss was what was first launched, and people have been chomping at the bit for the sequel ever since the first one ended. It ends in a way that you pretty much know there's another one coming, and it's pretty much been mum's the word now for years, and now we see this gameplay footage. Although there's not a lot of gameplay footage in the thing, there is gameplay footage, and it doesn't look entirely different than the original Moss from a graphical standpoint. They're not really doing anything different, apparently. So it makes you wonder, uh, I mean, is this going to be a very long game? I mean, they've been working on something all this time, and if it isn't, building the game in a new engine, then you got to imagine there's going to be a lot of content here, right?
Yeah. Do you think they've been working on this the whole time, or maybe took a break and then
Absolutely.
decided? Yeah.
Yeah, I know they've split their team because they are working on some unannounced AR project. Um, but that was something that was announced within the last year. The majority of the time they've been working on Moss Book 2.
Mm.
And yeah, absolutely. I think that they were probably already laying the groundwork for it before they even ported the title on the PC and then later Quest.
Tech says he wants Moss in first person view. That would be cool if you could toggle into the mouse, see it from his perspective, right? As far as the whole world is huge. But
How about this? How about an asymmetric multiplayer version where one player plays Quill and the other player plays the figure, or your original, your usual role within Moss.
that'd be pretty cool. What does his role do? He just gets to be the observer.
He gets to move blocks.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
Carly
dude.
and the Reaper Man Part Two.
Moss.
Quill's
It's a
Revenge.
collaboration. No, I'm psyched for this. Now let me ask you. Let me ask Westradamus this. Put your psychic hat on. Do you think it sooner than later? Do you think this could be a game that they've announced now because it's getting ready to drop in a few months, or do you think we're looking at 2022?
I think we're looking at Holiday 21 on this one. I can't imagine any possible reason why they would push this into next year. Now, if it were something that were especially graphically demanding, and don't get me wrong, when I sit here and I say it looks the same, that's not a bad thing. This is one of the most beautiful games in VR, even to this day by today's standards. Moths is a beautiful game, but it was beautiful on PlayStation VR 2 years ago. So I don't see um, why this would be something that they're holding for PlayStation 5 VR. I don't believe that it is. It not. I mean, for other reasons. Uh, I mean, it wouldn't make the most fiscal sense to do that. I mean, even though PS5 VR is going to be a hot ticket item when it launches, there aren't going to be as many people with that headset as the original PlayStation VR. So no, I think that this is a game that's going to probably launch around the end of the year, probably around Christmas time. And I think the real question is here: is it going to be a PlayStation exclusive, a timed exclusive,
Mm.
as it was the first time around?
I don't know, man. I mean, things are different now. You know, Quest is a big a big market, right? So I'm sure that Sony maybe it would have to be in the cards from the first agreement, right? Or a lot of money from Sony, I would think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, uh, I wouldn't say a ton of money because again, we are talking about a smaller VR marketplace here. It's
Mm,
not like we're talking about the next GTA 5 or GTA 6, rather.
true.
But yeah, I'd say that uh, there probably has been some marketing. We are speculating on what has taken them so long to reveal this.
Mm.
It could be because of market negotiations, right? They could be negotiating with Oculus and Sony, playing them against one another to see who gets the timed exclusive.
Yeah, true. PSVR Underground says they did show a PS5 right before the Polyarc logo.
Yeah, man, I don't see it. I don't see it. It wouldn't make dollars and thus it wouldn't make sense, if you know what I'm saying. It's going to be probably 2.5 years from right now before there's a lot of PS5 VR headsets in the now what I would love is if this were to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive for the PSVR headset. Not just in terms of this game. I would love that because I think that uh, from a strategic standpoint, that would be the best thing that Sony could do
Mm.
to fill this 18-month gap is kind of have an in between phase, right? Where they support PSVR 1 hardware with the PS5 exclusives, which I know they're not going to do that. I know it's a pipe dream, but to me, it's what would make the most sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess time will tell, right? So.
Yeah. Now, um, not a lot said recently about what we can expect with this, other than it's a picking up the story from where it left off. Obviously, from the footage, it's going to be very similar gameplay with some slight expansions to the original. But one thing that I'm very much looking forward to, and looking forward to see if they actually followed through with it. But during the earliest days when they started talking about book two, Polyart Games, I mean, one of the things that they used to describe it was, quote, it was going to be more open world than the first one. The first one being a very linear
Mm.
puzzle adventure in VR. Uh, the implication was is that you're going to be more free to progress in your own way in the next book.
Mm.
No indication or word from them whether or not they actually followed through with that. But I hope so, man, because again, the first one was such a beautiful world. The only thing that it really lacked was the ability to explore it fully. And I feel like if that were to be something that they're going to incorporate into book two, not only would it be awesome for me as an exploration type player, but it would also explain why it's taken this much time for them to bring it to market.
Yeah, I agree. I was just thinking that that would actually be the case. Uh PSVR on Underground wants to know if we played it on Quest. Good with two controllers versus gamepad. Definitely going to have to ask the chat, because Wes and I actually
Well,
almost picked it up yesterday for 18
well,
bucks. Wes, did you pick it up?
I, I did not, but I can say this: it plays just fine. It's identical with touch controllers.
Hmm.
I have not played it on Quest, but I have played it on PC using Oculus headsets. So I
Oh,
have used touch controllers to
that's
play the game.
that's how I played it too, actually, and that's exactly how I played Pixel Ripped. Remember, a lot of people were saying you didn't get the same game as the PSVR because of the controller, right? It wasn't
Right.
tracked, but I had my controllers tracked, and I just had them together like this, and it felt the same. Although people, for some reason, couldn't believe that, which is weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it played great on PC. I played through it completely on PSVR and then played through it a second time on PC, and the gameplay was nearly
Mm.
identical. The only difference was the clarity. Obviously, on the PC was a little bit. It was a little bit more resolution. So
Well, did they fix the Quest version? Somebody was complaining the Quest version didn't have reflections, right? From when you looked in, you couldn't see a reflection of yourself or whatever.
I have no idea. I kind of took the stance that I wasn't going to buy this on Quest when they chose not to support cross buy.
Mm.
They were one of the early Quest releases that came right out, along with Super Hot, and said we're not going to support cross buy. And I just kind of took a moral stand on it. Then, like I was like really rallying for all games to support cross buy. Uh, and since then,
Mm.
obviously, my stance has softened a little bit on that. I did end up buying Super Hot after all.
You could have got
Uh,
this at 18, dude. There you have it. Wes says, "Don't buy Moss 2 now." No, just kidding.
No, it's $18. I think everyone should own this game. I own it twice over, and it's going to be one of the top releases of the year. No matter which year it actually ends up releasing. So you're not going to want to start from the middle of the story. So if you don't have the original Moss, you should buy it today, and it is on sale on Oculus Quest right now.
It
So
is still on sale. Damn it! I thought I was not going to be tempted anymore. I almost bought it yesterday, Wes.
I
Had it
think so.
had it in my cart. Yeah, there it is. 18 bucks.
Well, there you have it. So go get it before it goes off sale, peeps.
Yeah, I think I might end up
Uh,
doing that.
anyway, what time is it, Roots?
I think it's
Quote time.
It is indeed quote time. This particular quote coming to us from Josh Stixma, who is the principal software engineer and design director at PolyArt Games. Quote, we were blown away by the reception from fans to the Moss story. Players built an extraordinary bond with Quill. Countless emails, tweets, streams, and fan art postings made us feel like we had created something special. We've since poured our hearts into ensuring Book 2 is a worthy continuation of Quill's journey, and, and hope fans around the world are ready to join Quill in the next chapter of her story. In Moss, players not only guided Quill throughout gameplay, but they also reached into the world as their own character. Their every action had an impact. Players return to this role in Book 2, and it's our hope that they once again are reminded of the joy of physical interaction and the power of emotional feedback they can experience within VR. And it's that immersion that makes the journey feel all the more real and the stakes even higher.
mm,
This is one of the things that I really like about the developers and the people at PolyArt Games. Um, in a time where so many other popular VR games have kind of went for the the cash grab by pancakeizing their games and taking it into that other market. These guys are VR devs to the core, and they realize that it's the immersion that VR provides that allows you to feel this emotional connection with Quill, and they never went that route, and I think that's commendable, and it's one of the things that I find really endearing about their crew over there.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it shows their commitment, right?
Yeah, I love it. I'm a VR homer, these guys, they could have made some money. Moss would work to an extent as a flat game, but it wouldn't be the same. And I think they understand that, and they care about their property enough not to sell it off in that way, to put out a subpar experience for
Mm-hmm.
money. They very well could have done that, and they didn't.
That's
And I
true.
think that's commendable.
Yeah, so you're gonna buy the game then? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna try to
Right.
get you to get this game, Wes. Because if you buy it, I have to buy it. Actually, I am really leaning towards getting it, just so that I can answer some of my own questions. I want to know if that reflection's there.
Well, that's a good question. Inquiring minds would like to know.
Yeah.
Anyway, once again, Polyarch has yet to say when Moss Book 2 might be arriving for PlayStation VR or whether other platforms will be supported in the future. Stay tuned to Virtual Strangers for the latest on this and other big VR releases coming later this year.
Yep.
Speaking of big PSVR releases coming later this year, Roots, Fracked is the upload access game of the month. And they're kicking things off with a chat with In Dreams creative director Steve Watt. The article begins by noting that Fracked is the exact opposite of what you'd expect from In Dreams after last year's Phantom Covert Ops. The Oculus exclusive was a tense, realistic stealth experience with smart movement, immersive weapon handling, and a gritty seriousness. Jamie Feltham of Upload VR describes the gameplay of Fracked as an explosive run and gun combat against soldiers possessed by alien parasites
Ooh.
set high up in the mountains in a vibrant world pulled straight out of a comic book. Feltham also goes on to draw comparisons to another PSVR exclusive, Blood and Truth, and when watching the game's reveal trailer, it's easy to see why. But while the game does share the same explosive, high octane action, the player experience should prove to be quite different. While Blood and Truth is built around seamless node based movement, Fracked will give the player complete freedom by featuring unrestricted free locomotion. And I want to emphasize this because a lot of people coming out of the reveal trailer seem to think that this was either a rail shooter or node based like Blood and Truth. I even thought that it looked kind of node based. But when I took it to In Dreams and asked, they said no, it's absolutely free locomotion. You have complete free running through this. But as we're about to talk about, it does feature a very unique cover system that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Looks amazing.
Uh, yeah, it's going to be great. Um, let's see here. In fact, I believe it's safe to say Frack's main gameplay loop is built upon the player's movement, and it is this unique approach to movement that will set this title apart from other VR action shooters. Fracked uses sequences based on climbing and then skiing to break up the more traditional on foot segments. Not that the on foot segments will be a walk in the park. Most players will not make it very far during these sequences unless they make quick use of the environmental cover. In fact, while most people would refer to Fracked as a run and gun shooter, In Dreams refers to the game's playstyle as run, gun, and cover, referencing the importance of pushing the offensive and then when you're on your back foot, quickly finding a safe spot to duck behind by physically grabbing onto it and pulling yourself to safety. So it's interesting, Root. So we're talking about something that's action packed, basically a speed running game where you're not only running, but you're climbing and skiing as well. But it's not just all arcade run and gun action. Uh, the cover system is a very important part of this, and it isn't your basic automatic node based cover system that we're used to seeing here, but rather as you're running through these environments, the way you're going to take cover is by actually grabbing the item and pulling yourself into the cover.
Yeah. This.
I don't think we have anything that we can accurately compare that to, do we?
No, this looks like the climb meets like some kind of awesome shooter. You know how cool was that? As he was going down, he grabbed onto the shade and like slowly went down, and then you know what I mean, like was using that and it was closing. I just think the detail is there. It just looks amazing. And so when is this coming to the Quest?
Well, we don't have a
Hmm.
release date for it. It is the upload access title for the month of July. Generally, these titles, uh, in the short history of upload access, they've launched fairly
Hmm.
soon after the conclusion of the month. I would imagine, August is probably the safe bet, if not September.
And but it is a PlayStation exclusive, right?
This is absolutely 100%
Okay.
built from the ground up for PlayStation and and optimized for PlayStation 5. This is going to be the first PSVR exclusive that we've gotten in the
Hmm.
PS5 era that's actually built for PS5.
All right, now I do need that $630 uh that PlayStation, bro. I gotta get it. I gotta get this before before Fracked comes out, man.
Yeah, I would. The clock's ticking on that one, man. I don't think we have very long to wait on this. Uh, but I feel your excitement here, man. I think that we often make jokes about what's possibly going to um, rival Hitman 3 for Game of the Year, and I absolutely think that this has the potential to be one of those games on that short list when we get to the end of the year and we're talking about the overall VR game of the year. I think the Frack very well could be on that list.
Uh Wolverazer wants to know how they're gonna make free locomotion work on the PlayStation Move controllers.
Oh, there's if you owned a PlayStation VR, you'll realize that even though there's not thumbsticks, over the what 5 years of the PlayStation VR's history, developers have evolved a very effective locomotion system with move controllers. It's all button based. There's a big thumb button in the middle of the controller called the move button, and generally uh, one of a few different movement schemes revolve around that button. But generally, you'll have the move button on one hand, which makes your character move, and then two of the buttons on the other hand will turn. So it's something that people coming over from Oculus or Vive or Steam, uh, obviously there's going to be a pretty big learning curve, but people who have had PSVR for a few months generally pick up on it pretty well.
Cool.
Um, we're going to go into another quote here, and I'm not going to we're not going to signify this as quote time because pretty much this whole article is quote time. It's all based on an interview, but I did pull a couple quotes from it, and here's the first one. And again, for the record, this is Stephen Watt, who is the creative director at In Dreams. So, quote: "This is a big part of the innovation of this game. Run, gun, and cover. Two things that normally conflict with one another. It's very much a run out there and shoot the AI type of game. And then what we saw as people were playing it was when you become overwhelmed, you intuitively grab the cover and start to go for respite and start to heal." End quote. So to maintain this speed, In Dreams wants to streamline the experience to some extent. When you need to reload, for example, the magazine just appears, hovering below the gun, ready for you to push it in place and get back to the action. Now, obviously, when you start to talk about VR gameplay that's pushing this level of speed, it merits questions with regards to comfort. And while In Dreams realizes that it's important to make sure that their game can be experienced by as many people as possible, they're more or less trusting that players will be fine with its breakneck battles rather than actively trying to make sure that they will be. To that extent, Watts points to features like grab based cover system, which he says anchors players in the environments more naturally, or the importance of keeping players focused on specific objectives. So, this is something that I really like to see, Roots. It's something that we as VR enthusiasts have been clamoring for years. And that is, we want a developer to just trust that people can handle it and not go overboard with the comfort options. And apparently, that's very much the approach that In Dreams is taking here. They're just trusting that the cover system, along with the way that they draw people's focus during the gameplay, that's just going to be enough to keep VR gamers from getting sick.
And if they are going to get sick, they're going to get sick. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's just the way it goes, you know. Not everything's for everybody. There's people that convince themselves they're going to get sick, so they will. You know.
Right, right. People who are afraid to drink, so they take a drink of beer and then spew it back up immediately.
Yeah, dude, because it makes you sick when you right when you drink it. Oh.
All right. Anyway, lost my spot here. Okay. All things considered, In Dreams is bullish on the idea of delivering a console quality shooter with Fracked. Again, a console quality shooter. Did you hear that, Scion? A console quality shooter with Fracked. Watts says the gameplay has, quote, traditional campaign length with evolving gameplay strategies and a story with strong characters. Quote, I think it's sort of similar to a first party title where you make blueprints for other games to build off of. And so I want people to look at this game and go, wow, you really can make super fun games in VR. To me, it's not about satisfying the VR audience. It's about satisfying the gaming VR audience and showing the gamers actually come to VR, see the different experiences you can have, and how you can have your traditional mechanics suddenly disrupted or enhanced by using VR. End quote. So basically, what they're saying here, even with the comfort stuff and beyond, is that this is a VR game for VR gamers, but at the same time, uh, it's meant to be a showpiece for all gamers, all gaming enthusiasts, to show them that some really awesome things uh, are possible when you talk about VR as a platform.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We need the gameplay loop. We need that. The key thing that I got from that whole thing is they want to show people that VR is fun, can be fun. And a lot of these games in the past have been like to prove how good things could look or mechanic wise and
Or tech demos.
You're looking at your hands, you're climbing stuff, but the gameplay wasn't fun. And so now we're getting to the games where the gameplay is actually starting to become actually fun and drawing in. I use this as an example. I don't think it's just the haptics and the controller. Returnal drew you back in so much because the gameplay was fun. It has to be fun. Otherwise, what are you doing, right? So now we're finally getting to a point where we've got something like this. Looks amazing and looks fast paced and it looks like it's fun.
I'm going to find it interesting how this game is reviewed because this is obviously an arcade game. This is arcade style action through and through. And people are pretty much universally pumped for this. Like, I haven't seen anybody who said, that don't look like my game.
Scion
but we do
just
know.
Said that.
What's that?
Scion just said that it's not. Looks like it's not
well,
his jam.
of course, Scion don't count. Anyway, but with regards to reviewers,
okay.
We know specifically that while pretty much everyone's pumped for this, that there are certain media outlets, VR media outlets, that generally tend to not enjoy arcade style games as much. Like, I can already know that there are people who are going to hate the quick reload, right? The fact that the clip's hovering right under the gun when you need to reload it. I could care less about that stuff. Is the gameplay fun? Is it not fun? That's the question, and we won't really know until we get our hands on it. But I guarantee you, some people are going to give this thing mixed reviews, just because they generally tend to not like these games that aren't so much a simulation as an arcade jam.
That's what's weird is, man, I don't know, man. Is it really that big a deal? Is that like that's the deal breaker? Like, I love the game. The gameplay was cool, really fun. The skiing was amazing. I love the story, but the reload, I'm just gonna have to return it. You know, you're like, well, what? Like, you know, I just it's kind of like those people that will play. They'll look at something like Red Dead Redemption 2, which is one of the best games I've played in VR this year because the game is amazing and it's just the mod is so amazing and it's full VR. But they'll say, well, it's controller, and they won't even try it, and they're missing out. They're really missing out. It's such a bizarre thing to me. To each their own, but I think you're weird. Whoever you
Paradise
are.
Decay joining us in chat says, "You telling me when they grab those crates and move in and out of cover, they're not using PSVR 2 controllers?" That is exactly what I'm telling you, sir.
Mm,
This is a PSVR 1 exclusive, optimized for PlayStation 5.
that's right. And
Diz the Game Cat says, "This might be the last PSVR game I ever buy." I bet you it's not. I bet you it's not.
oh yeah,
PSVR's got a nice year ahead of it, man.
yeah, that's true. Who knows what's coming out, right? So PD, you think this is a PS5 exclusive, huh? I'm assuming that's what you're thinking, right? I mean, it definitely looks amazing. Or PS5 VR, as what he's saying, right, with the new controllers and everything, which I don't think it is.
Right.
I mean, it looks like to me amazing gameplay, but um, I don't know. I'm curious to see why you think that.
God, I'll be crushed, dude, if we have to wait for PS5 VR before we can play this. Like,
Uh,
I'm pumped. I'm ready for it now.
oh yeah, I did see that tweet. Well, I didn't see the tweet. I saw Wes actually talking about it earlier. I didn't hear. I heard you talk about it, Wes. But that's the thing is, I already have the mod. The mod is so amazing, and I get it if you don't have the Patreon and you have Vorpx. I mean, it costs you nothing. I will try it because I am interested to see if it's any different or any better or worse. But my instinct is you know, Luke Ross is literally put probably 300-400 hours into making this mod for it, and somebody's made a couple adjustments for Vorpx. You know what I mean? Like it's I just don't think it's going to be as good, but maybe it will be.
Yeah, Scion VR says a reload isn't game breaking for me. It's more my aversion to fast paced games. Never really floated my boat. Yeah, again, the reload was just an example of the type of thing that these reviewers who are averse to arcade style games, uh, those are the type of things they cite. I wasn't really trying to say that the reload by itself is going to break the game for anybody. But much like you, Scion, there are people who don't like these fast paced arcade style games. That's all I was getting at.
Hmm. Well, I question if they have a
And
soul.
PD, I'd be curious to know. Obviously, you've tried this already, Red Dead Redemption 2 and Vorpx. Have you tried the Luke Ross mod, and how do they compare to one another? That's something I'm very interested in.
Who'd you ask that of? I don't think PD's played it.
Paradise Decay.
I don't think he's played it in Vorpx. He said that he asked if we saw GT's tweet about it. So it sounds like to me he has not tried it yet.
Okay, well,
Maybe.
I'm sure he will soon. Tune in tomorrow, folks.
Yeah, that's right.
Video,
Mr.
I have a video
Vorpx.
out on it.
Mr. Vorpx.
That's right. Anyway, moral of the story is Fracked is going to be awesome. It might be the game of the year, even when put up against stiff competition like, excuse me, Hitman 3 and Sniper Elite VR.
Yep.
So stay tuned for more on this as it develops.
True.
And that brings us into I guess into PD in the chat who says, I have not tried Red Dead Redemption 2 in Vorpx, only the mod. So I guess people are going to be anxious to hear what you think about it, right?
Yeah, the mod is so
Which it
good now.
kind of sucks. I wonder, can you unapply the mod? Like the only other option would be to delete it and re-download that whole game over again just to try it.
Yeah, you'd have to uninstall it and reinstall it without the mod there to have it not be messed up. Good news is there's cloud saves, or I believe, or there's somewhere else, so you don't lose that. But I don't know, it's not that big a deal if you have fast internet. So
yeah, well, with me it's general. I have decent internet, but with me generally, I'll click on that and go to bed. And when I wake up, it's whatever game that's 100 GB is downloaded.
yeah,
That's how I deal with it.
I like to be a watch pot. I just sit here like this. I'm just kidding. No, I find something else to do, but I mean, I have really fast internet, so usually 100 gigs is only like half hour or something, or some ridiculously not that it's not that far long. So
Anyway, that's enough about games that we don't know when they're coming. How about a game that we do know when it's coming? Yuki is an upcoming VR bullet hell roguelike from Arvor Immersive, the studio behind the Pixel Rip games, The Line, and more. This past week, the studio released a new gameplay trailer and revealed a July 22nd release date for Yuki on Steam VR and on Oculus Quest. Set in a multi dimensional anime universe, Yuki is a bullet hell
mm,
roguelite mashup where you control an action figure directly with your hands. With Yuki in hand, you'll have to guide him through challenging levels filled with enemies, obstacles, and a dizzying array of projectiles to dodge. As you progress, you'll be able to unlock new blade wings, which offer varying stats and abilities, plus, there are charms and power ups to help improve your chances as well. Levels are procedurally generated for a different run each time, with a persistent progression system allowing you to retain specific advancements. Roots, what time is
Quote time.
it? It is quote time. This is Pedro Camara, or if you ask me, it's Camera. Pedro Camera, the Yuki lead game designer and associate director. Quote, with Yuki, we wanted to make each run feel like a completely new game. Every session feels like an opportunity to invest in a strategy that you haven't tried yet and to tackle a uniquely generated combination of bullet patterns and obstacles. When it comes to level design, our ultimate goal was to embrace three-dimensional gameplay in a way that would be impossible in pancake games. We wanted to create challenges that use 3D space as much as possible, making players perform precise and fluid movements in all axes as if they were dancing with the enemy bullets. When we hear players saying, I couldn't imagine a game that uses spatial awareness like this if VR didn't exist, we know that we did a good job. Arvor is set to launch Yuki for Oculus Quest, Rift, and Steam VR headsets on July 22nd for $20 US
mm.
and 20 shekels Europe. Pre-orders for the Oculus Quest version are live right now, and they offer a 10% discount as well as the ability to play the game 2 days prior to its official launch. PSVR release, of course, planned for later this year. So, Roots, we've been waiting on this one for a while. This is a proper bullet hell game, but with a VR twist, right? And when I say a VR twist, I'm not talking about Blasters of the Universe VR twist. I'm talking about Hello Puppets VR twist, where the character is your hand, or rather, a Space Cats with Lasers VR twist, if you will. Um, we've been looking forward to this one for a while. I'm glad to see that it's coming up in less than 2 weeks' time. And much like we said before about the "In Dreams" quote, these guys obviously through and through VR developers, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's funny because I didn't think they could nail it any better than the first two games, but this one looks phenomenal. The fact that it's procedurally generated, it actually has that extra bit of strategy, like unlocking stuff, changing things to adjust how your play is, and I think it looks really good, right? Like, look how good that model of that character, the shields and stuff. I can't wait to play this game. I love old school games like this, and just being able to play this in VR, I think is going to be a treat. So
And as much as I love the Pixel Rip games, this looks like it's by far going to be their most VR of their titles, right? The line notwithstanding. This looks like a game like Swarm that's going to have you dancing all around your room, trying not to get hit. And good luck trying to play this seated, right?
absolutely, techno glitch. You're going to buy this early. He saes Yuki is Dookie Poo, or Doki Poo. I don't know. So
Doki.
I'm assuming
Stokey.
I'm assuming that means you're not going to get it techno glitch. I think it looks like Wolveraza says looks like stupid fun. I'm interested to see how Anna's going to bring in the story and all that, right? Because that was one of the things that was coolest about Pixel Ripped is how they wrapped a story around it. I'm assuming there's going to be a story around this, right?
Somewhat, I would expect there will be
Maybe
some
it's not
backstory
story
to it.
driven.
How involved it is, it remains to be seen. But yeah, man, they always have these fantastical, superhero like feel to their games, and obviously backstory comes with that. I'd be shocked if it weren't the case here as well.
Well, it would make sense because it looks like you're in a kid's room and you're grabbing this character, right? And then you're taking him on an adventure. I'd be surprised if there's not some story to it. Uh, that being said, I haven't even watched the trailer with audio, so I have no idea. But it looks amazing, and I've talked to a couple people that have possibly tried it, and they said it was amazing, possibly. So,
Uh-oh. We have embargoes breaking left and right on the show.
mm.
We're not
well,
supposed to say how good it is yet, man.
I'll
I
tell
always get cracked up at these VR
embargoes.
game studios that are like super strict with their embargoes when they have the best game of all time. And like people are just going to build hype for it.
Yeah, yeah, but then there's the other ones that will only let you show so much. You get kind of skeptical. But yeah, I mean, I can't say or deny that there was anything divulged, but I can't wait to try this game.
Yeah, me either. And how cool is it that they're allowing people not only to pre-order it at a discount on Quest, but they're letting these people Kickstarter style have the game early.
Yeah, absolutely. Really? No, the 2 days, right? The people buying it
2
early.
days, yeah.
That is really cool. Chris Richardson says he generally dislikes bullet hell, but this has him interested. So yeah,
Dude, Returnal, bro. I'm
Returnal.
telling you, bullet hell's where it's at.
Yeah, dude. I'll tell you what. I tried to play a little bit of Risk of Rain 2 with flat with a controller. Talk about, I think that's actually more difficult than playing in VR and it's not as fun.
Yeah, and it makes you kind of opens your eyes a little bit to why maybe some of these multiplayer games would not allow a VR mod, um, because it kind of is an unfair advantage in some cases.
Well, actually, people say it would be more of a disadvantage. I just don't like playing a shooter where I've got to use like an individual sight with as one joystick. It was weird. It just I want to jump in there and do this. So.
Right. Anyway, super pumped for this. I think this game's awesome. I think these developers are genuinely good people. And how often do we get to quote developers who use the term pancake games? I mean, that's pretty awesome in its own right.
That's true. That's very true.
So definitely awesome people, definitely VR to the core, and definitely deserving of our support. So I hope you all go pre-order this today.
Yeah, because what is the 22nd? You only have to wait to the 20th. If you buy it right now, you wait till the 20th, and it's the the 11th. That's only 9 days.
9 days, week and a half, bro.
Yep. Cool.
And one more item before we get into the week's reminders. And how ironic, Roots, that after we went off the air last night, we're having a personal conversation about how my daughter and I recently played Death Horizon Reloaded. And I was just going on and on about how good the game looked, how well improved it is, and just how much game is here for the $15 price tag. It never ceases to amaze me. But come to find out, doing the research for the show today, that there is a very good reason why the thing seems so improved the last time I played it. Death Horizon Reloaded has received an update with 8 new game modes and integration with Oculus social features on the Quest. The 8 new game modes included as part of the Challenges update are called Deep Dark Dare, See No Evil, Headhunter, Curse Me Good, Close Combat, Dead Redemption, This Is My Rifle, and Speedrun. The developers don't go into much detail on what these game modes will entail, except that they're all intended for single player only and have their own score table. The development team has also added a bunch of new features that integrate directly with the Oculus features. Death Horizon now supports challenges, travel together, parties and destinations. This opens up more accessible playing options for the multiplayer sessions. For example, my daughter and I partied up in the Quest home using the social tab, and then we traveled to the game together directly
Hmm.
with just the touch of one button. There's no need to leave the party and meet each other in game anymore. It's all synced together from start to finish. There's also visual effect changes that vastly improve effects like explosions and muzzle flashes, and some general bug fixes as well. Of course, we all know Death Horizon originally launched on Gear VR and Google Daydream as an on rails 3DOV zombie first person shooter. It's since been ported to Oculus Quest with full 6 degrees of freedom support and has been continually upgraded to the point of becoming one of the very best co op shooters on the platform. With all of this said, the game remains a work in progress. So there you have it, Roots. I had a great experience with my daughter in this. We we partied up in Oculus Home, and we just had to hit the travel button, and it brought us into the game and put us into a multiplayer room without us having to select anything. All we had to do was hit start, and we were in the game. This is a vast improvement over every other time I've been in the game, where I've had to create a multiplayer session, have strangers join it just so I could kick them out and join Roots or whoever it is I'm trying to play with at the time. It's much improved from a social aspect.
Hmm. Wow, cool. Well, Wolveraza says he also loves playing it with his kids. He was just playing it before the show, and that's cool. I'm glad that they keep supporting this now. Are they done? Is this out of early access? Or are they still continuing to work on this thing?
No, the game's still it's not finished. Like we're on level 4 right now, and level 5 has not been added in yet. You
Oh,
can see it says coming soon. So obviously a lot of work still to do on this. And I can't believe it, man. It's worth the $15 all day as it stands right now. And again, this was a Google Daydream game, a Gear VR game that they're continuing to work on in the Oculus Quest 2 era. And I can't speak for how good or bad it was before, but I can tell you it's a great game right now. And I can't believe that they continue to pour all this work and time into it when it's just a $15 title.
yeah, $15, dude. Wow, what a deal, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And, it wasn't just the social aspects that impressed me, particularly with my last gameplay. The game visually looks better than it used to look. There's new animations. There's new updated visuals on
Melee.
everything. And right, there's melee battle now, and it's not just a couple of different things. Like there's bats and hammers, and you can break off pipes from the wall and beat the zombies with that. I mean, it's really a lot improved, even since when you and I played it together those months ago.
Yeah, that's crazy. I might have to go in there, check it out again.
Chris Richardson asks, can Death Horizon be played local co-op on the same account? I only own one copy of the game. Now, I've never tried to play it Lethal Weasel and Lethal Weasel on two separate quests. But what I can say is it does support family sharing. So if you have a second quest and you enable sharing on that quest, your family members will have their access to their own copy, and you can pair up in multiplayer.
Cool.
And Wolveraza answers yes. So maybe he's tried it the other way.
Hell yeah, dude.
But he says, yeah, if I have multiple headsets, yeah, that's the way we're playing it. I only own one of them, and we both use it.
Who doesn't own multiple headsets in 2021, man? Like, I question your soul. Oh wait, that's me too. They're so cheap though. As a matter of fact, Wes, I just a couple days ago I was talking to a customer about the Quest 2, and as I'm talking to him about it, he ordered it from on Amazon right in front of me. He's like, "Oh, it's on my way. It'll be on here on Monday or something." I'm like, "Oh shit, dude. All right." He said, "I'll just I'll just have to explain to my wife that the pest control guy said it was worth it." I said, dude, it's worth it all day. So
Absolutely, absolutely, and I'm sure that person will thank you the next time you go to rid them of their unwanted guests.
as his kids, I'm sure.
Wolveraza said he played it prior to the app sharing, but app share should work as well. Yeah, I actually, interesting note. I was reading the app share Q&A on the Oculus website this past week, and I learned something that I did not know. Many games will support you logging into your account, the same account on two different quests, and play multiplayer with yourself. In the eyes of the system. But when you enable app share, it disables that. You're not able to do that anymore. So if that's something that you like to do, you might want to consider thinking twice before you enable app sharing, because it might permanently disable your ability to play with yourself. And you know who would be devastated if they couldn't play with themselves anymore, Roots?
My mom!
Oh man, that would be a sad day too. I'd feel really sad. Talk about half-mast day, you know?
Wolveraza and Technoglitch in the chat say, "How dare you not own multiple headsets,
How
Roots?"
dare you?
Oh, I know. I'm thinking about it. I need to own multiple consoles. I need to get the PlayStation 5.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. All right. Anyway, that's going to wrap up our news for the week and bring us into the week's reminders. And Roots, we got some stuff out this week, man. Do we ever have some stuff out this week? Gravitational from Studica Solution is coming to PlayStation VR in 2 days on July 13th. I've never played this one, Roots, but I think this is a physics-based puzzler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, it looks good. Looks definitely interesting. And if you're on PlayStation VR, you're chomping at the bit for something new. Here it is, Gravitational.
There you go. Pretty sure this one's on Steam VR, and I'm also pretty sure that this is getting a physical release on PlayStation.
Ah, cool.
Yep. Speaking of cool, Walkabout Mini Golf from Mighty Coconut is coming to Steam VR on the 15th. Fully crossplay supported, Roots. So
Finally,
if you pick this up on Steam, you got buddies on Quest, you guys can play together.
I've been waiting to play this game with Spry Guy, and I think Scion might be picking this up on Steam. I know Spry Guy said the night that we played it originally, when I met Mash Daddy all those months ago, he said, I'm just going to wait till it comes to Steam VR. It's been a long wait, bro. Finally here.
Chris Richardson in the chat, making me jealous, says I've got app share on and I can play Demio with 4 headsets perfectly.
By yourself?
Roots, yeah, that's the talk about advanced skirmish mode, right?
Wow, that would be crazy. I don't know why you just take them all off, swap them, right?
But I'm jealous, Roots. I can only play with 3. So.
Oh wow. Well, you only have 3, right?
That's my point.
You'll be getting another one soon, dude. The way that people keep
Demio
selling them,
needs
use
to come
them.
to PlayStation VR. That's the
That
moral of the
is
story.
that's true. Well, I believe you'll get another Quest on the cheap, on the down low. Somebody will be dropping one like 150 or something, and Wes will be there to scoop it up.
Well, there's one on Facebook right now with the asking price of $200. I guarantee you, I could get that for $175 if I really wanted to go get another headset.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, then you have all the kids' bases. You guys could all live in VR.
I'm saving myself, though. I'm saving myself for the 2022 headsets. I have a feeling there's going to be more than one of them that I'm picking up.
And they're coming. Yeah, that's true.
They are. Does the game cat? You can play Demio with multiple headsets without app share.
Oops.
Oh, there you go. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Who doesn't want to play multiple?
Yeah, I think those type of multiplayer games that have room codes are very well suited to this type of thing. I know that Pop One's the same way. Like you can, Weasel Steam can play with Weasel Quest based on friend or multiplayer codes, right?
Yeah, cool.
Anyway. A Township Tale from Alta coming to Oculus Quest on July 15th. So this is obviously or apparently a PC VR game that has flown off of my radar all this time. And now it's coming to Oculus Quest, so they want me to pay attention to it. I refuse. This does not look fun to me. Hopefully I'm wrong, but we'll find out soon enough, I guess.
Somebody was telling me just last night that there's no leveling in it. like that it looks good, that it's pretty cool as far as that goes, because we were talking about it compared to Orbis and stuff. But they said there's no leveling in there. And I was making the point that Orbis VR, what's so good about it is all the important mechanics and everything that makes an MMO RPG. An MMO RPG is there. And apparently that's not here. You can craft stuff. So I don't know, man. I'm torn on this one. It does look like something that maybe could be good, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like a good foundation to build on a game. It doesn't seem like a finished product to me. It seems a little bare bones for my taste. That said, I've never played it. I haven't taken all that much interest in it, and
Mm.
I could be completely off base. So if this is something you're looking forward to, don't let me dissuade you from it. Just don't look like my jam.
Yeah, and let us know if why we're wrong. If this is the game of the year, let us know. Maybe this could be
Yeah,
amazing. I don't know.
convince me why I should cover it,
Yeah.
and I will if you can do that.
Yeah.
Uh, Something looks a little bit more fun to me, Roots, is Ragnarok from WannaDev, coming to Steam VR on July 15th, leaving early access. People say the early access version of this is fun. Um, I got to imagine that it's going to be all the more so after it comes into full release.
Yeah. No, it looks cool. Looks interesting. It reminds me of my time in Orbis VR, because that's essentially
And
what I'm
dude,
doing.
we've been debating on whether or not we should cover this, but you've got the beard for it, dude. You could go do a hell of a mixed reality stream in this thing.
I just got to go rent the Viking hat. Absolutely. Dude, I could do it from an actual Viking ship. I just have to find one. Which would be cool, right?
Well, you might be able to get some help from those developers who are local to you there. They have pirate ships, I know.
Oh, that's
Maybe
true.
they could deck one out to be a Viking ship.
I don't even know if those developers are around anymore. That's been a while. I hope.
I think maybe we should check in with them.
We should.
They were certainly friendly enough.
Yeah, actually, I still got access to the early build. I wonder if it's changed at all. So,
Paradise Decay in chat says play a Township Tale if you want to see a dodo and be attacked by them.
a dodo bird? Who
It's the
doesn't want to
last
see a dodo
dodo.
bird?
Dodo. Remember that cartoon, Roots, with the dodo?
Yeah.
Dodo.
I think so.
I know some other old people out there remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, who doesn't love the dodo?
Tis the Game Cat Ragnarok coming to Viveport as well. Hey, that's cool. That's a nice addition. Nice
Yeah.
pickup.
Yeah, VR Viking rhythm game.
It's the type of game too that typically does well on Viveport. It's those replayable games are the ones that really make money on Viveport.
So this does look pretty intriguing. So you're playing, and how well you do is how good your guys row. So you're actually moving as well. Kind of has what you like about Synth Riders in it, and it's in more of a drum thing, and you're actually racing people, right? I believe.
And the drums don't move, Roots. How about that?
Yeah. Well, there's something to be said about doing this. Oh.
Anyway, you know who else says there's something to be said about doing this, Roots?
My mom!
Oh, yeah, she does.
Anyway, yeah, man, intriguing. It looks like it has a lot of what I like about Smash Drums.
Yeah.
A lot of what I like about Synth Riders.
I'm not on the fence about playing it anymore, Wes. Now I actually want to try it.
You want to give it a go?
Yeah, because I like I like the fact that you're actually I mean, it's one thing to be doing the drums, but the fact that you're actually racing people, and I just think that's a different, unique thing. Talk about like a whole nother level to the rhythm games. I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's like Smash Drums meets Dick Wild.
Yeah, you can look over and see people and like scream at PD that you're not gonna beat me, PD, and then he's like going to town because I know he's like a massive real drummer, and probably.
Well, there you go. So if that's something you guys would like to see, let us know in the comments down below. Do you want the virtual strangers to give you our opinion on Ragnarok? Let us know in the comments down below.
Yep.
Another one I've been on the fence about for the longest time, Roots, Little Witch Academia VR Broom Racing from Universe Incorporated, coming to Steam VR and PlayStation VR this very same day, July the 15th. So, obviously the aesthetic, the story, a bit girly for my liking. But with that said, the gameplay looks fun, man. This is the closest that we're gonna get in Gen 1 VR to Quidditch, VR Quidditch.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's definitely pretty cool. It'd definitely be cool to race. And interesting, like you and you made point maybe that on the Steam version they might have some modders. I don't know if that's able to be happen or not, but that'd be cool, right? Somebody could mod something cool, Harry Potter
Well,
style out of it.
yeah, I mean it is coming to Steam VR, so actually I'd kind of be surprised within a year or two that if that didn't happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's too perfect.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
It would just need really a reskin, and you can make it a. I mean, that thing even looks like Hogwarts back there. You really just need to reskin the characters and change the color palette a little bit, and voila, you've got a Harry Potter game.
Well, it'd be Harry Potter racing. You know, to do the
Yeah,
Quidditch, you'd have to change a little bit, but still, either way, I think it would be cool, and that would have been cool, and that's probably what they wanted to do. But I mean, the best. I guess this is after. There's people out there that are like, "Fuck you, man! Little Witch is its own thing. This is an actual IP, right? Or like this is a comic or
yeah,
anime. People love this
mhm,
series, so."
yep, absolutely. Um, Corporate Zombie in the chat says, "I want a broom controller. Will I be riding my aim controller?" Hey, they could make a fairly easily make an insert for the move controller just to slide it on down in there, and there you go.
Fly. How about like a yaw VR2 attachment broom that sticks out?
That sounds dangerous, man.
You impale yourself, bro. Yeah, that does sound dangerous, actually.
Anyway, this again coming to Steam VR and PlayStation VR on this week's release day, July the 15th. So check it out if that's something you've been looking forward to.
Oh, nice.
All right, that brings us to our next set of reminders. And this is the part of the show where we ask all of you to join us in real time as we all do our part to support the developers by wishlisting a game. And some good choices again this week, as normally is the case. We've got Fracked, of course. We have Moss Book 2. We have Yuki. And we have Death Horizon Reloaded. Now, I own Death Horizon Reloaded. And I think I'm going to go for Yuki if it isn't already on my list.
Yeah, yeah. Yuki is definitely a good one. I'm adding Ragnarok, even though I already own, or I guess it's been out since December on the PC, right? PC VR.
Yeah, in early access, it has
Yeah.
been on Steam VR.
Yep.
So yeah, and obviously the obvious choice here would be Moss Book 2, but I'm highly doubtful that it has a PlayStation page just yet. So we'll keep an eye out on that one, and we'll be sure to let everyone know when we notice it on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I think Chris Richardson was I think it was Chris Richardson. Somebody was asking, basically was saying that you know who else likes to ride the broom,
My mom!
and they were wondering why we didn't bring her up in that whole conversation. So it's like slide her in there.
Yeah, sometimes we miss it, man. Sometimes we miss one here and there, but we can always count on the strangers in chat to pick up the slack where we leave off, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so there we have it for wish list. I chose Yuki. Roots chooses Ragnarok. Let us know what you chose in the comments down below. Delirium Drew says, "Hey, what up? Hey, man, just getting ready to sign off and getting ready to give everyone our final reminder this week and every week, and that is how you can do your part to support our channel. Of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. And if you really didn't like it, take that thumb and stick it where the sun don't shine."
Yeah, and don't tell us about it. Sprite Guy says he's gonna wish list Walkabout on Steam. It's already on your list. Yeah, that's right, dude. I can't wait to get in there. I haven't not been in there since I met Mash Daddy, and we're gonna have to go back in there for a repeat. Get all the boys back in there for a Walkabout marathon.
Kind of glad I held off on this one now, man. Now I get to pick it up on PC. Maybe it's cross-buy.
Yep, I would hope so. It's an amazing game. It's got so many courses. So
Anyway, for those of you who are new to the channel, please consider clicking the big red button and the bell to subscribe and to stay up to date with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers VR channel. For those of you who'd like to do a little something extra, of course, you can do so by choosing to support us on Patreon, where for as little as $3 per month, you will gain access to our weekly show notes. And I say weekly show notes, but now that we have 3 shows a week, it's more often than that. It's many times a week show notes. You get insider updates, you get exclusive content, including the always awesome money show. Again, $3 per month. That's all we ask. Um, and it goes a long way to making the content better, as you're all about to find out.
Yeah, and even if it's not making the show better, it's making us able to do the show with our peripherals, right? So
Yep.
we
Yep.
appreciate
You know, never mind. I was about to reach a little too far for a mom joke, and I'm not going to do it. Anyway, that brings us to our final reminder, and that is how you can come to your home. Come to our home.
Yeah.
There's an invitation. The front door is in the description down below to our Discord server. This is where we live. This is where we love. It's where we laugh together, cry together, eat pizza together, digitally, obviously. We
Yeah.
can't share through the internet yet,
Yeah.
but the day's coming. Who knows?
Who knows, man?
But anyway, we invite you cordially into our home to make it your own. The Virtual Strangers VR Discord home for the hardcore VR gaming enthusiast.
Yeah, come home. Wes left the light on and everything.
Mash Daddy Cool coming through with the $5 support in the chat, saying, everyone join Patreon. Thank you, Mash Daddy. I appreciate the support here. I appreciate the support there. And, you know, again, we talked about it yesterday, how we're kind of relaunching the channel in phases over the remaining course of the year. One of the things that we're definitely on the to-do list is coming up with some new ways to show our appreciation, not only to the people who support on Patreon, but the people who support by all the various methods that are available. We really appreciate it, you all, and we promise we're not spending your money on coffee and Red Bull, even though you insist that that's what we should do.
Wouldn't you say Mash Daddy's like the big toe of Virtual Strangers?
I would, you know, I hate to say this because it's going to make it sound like I'm throwing other people under the bus, but he's kind of like stranger number one, right? Like he's like the third stranger.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be on Wednesday. Tune in Wednesday as Eric joins us to talk about Sniper Elite VR. And I mean, Eric's done very well for himself outside of our community, in his own community, the Oculus Quest 2 Facebook community. I mean, that thing's growing like a wildfire.
Yeah, it just keeps just growing and growing and growing. Amazing. Good community.
Diz the Game Cat says money show occasionally, and they've been very rare over the last couple of months. I will admit, but occasionally, Roots and I will do a gameplay for that's exclusive to the Patreon subscribers. Instead of, it was a play on words at the time that we came up with it. At the time, we had the Monday show every Monday, and we did a show for the patrons called the Money Show because it sounds very similar. We've been very it's been hard for us, you know, ever since we extended our schedule to the 3 days a week thing for YouTube. It's been harder for us to find a fourth day to do Money Show in. But we haven't quit doing them. That's not our intent at all. It's been a little while, but we're going to get back in there really soon and get one out. But yes, the Money Show is an exclusive show for our patrons. Generally, it's a gameplay, but it's not just a gameplay. We also discuss the topics of the day.
Yep, absolutely.
There is an episode of the Money Show that's public. We published it, I think 2 or 3 months ago here on the YouTube channel. And anyone who's a recent subscriber of Patreon if you go back through the posts, you'll find 8 or 9 episodes of the Money Show have been published on Patreon.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that said, friends, we'd like to thank you all once again for watching. And for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye now.
Stay easy.